I really want this wall built as well. So there's a lot of little projects I want. But fortunately, I do have a... there's no reason to butcher it right away, no. Except for unless you want the leather. Now, it actually increases your... wealth to do it this way. Because instead of just having like a corpse, which isn't worth much, I get meat and leather as a result, which is worth more. So there is actually something to be said for not butchering immediately. That might be the smarter thing to do, but you know, on the other hand, now I have a pretty good feeling of like how much room I have, you know, and how much more meat I have. So it's, although you can do the calculations manually, it is easier to just butcher it and figure out, oh, now I have 539 meat rather than I have like 6 corpses. Because sometimes you're not sure what 6 corpses will yield. Plus, the skill of the cook depends on the corpses. So we have another attack, and they're like right in my backyard already. So I'm immediately going to get everyone situated. I should probably have another door back there so I can flee from both sides. But Trillo, Davies is like already on top of them, so I'm gonna have Davies flee. Griffiths, I'm gonna have go inside. Trillo, I'm just gonna have wait kind of behind them, and if they chase him down, I'll just lead them on a merry run. But it's pretty rare to have attackers like spawn on you quite like this. Fortunately for me, I'm ready. So let's look at their weapons. They have machine pistols, SMGs. They do have 1 sniper, or 2 snipers, and one of them is wearing some pretty hardy helmet there. Power armor of some quality. I'm going to have to deal with some fire, but not that much, fortunately. He went down quick. Trillo here is still lying in wait. Their mailer is now dead. I'm not going to worry about the... Oh, it looks like this needs a little bit of repairing. I'm going to repair it from standing behind cover. Nope, behind cover, all the way. So their machine pistol people are rushing me, but their snipers are standing at a distance. Now, I'm not sure if I can actually take these snipers out without endangering my own people. So I'm going to only try to get them now that they are fleeing. And release my last 2 to stomp that fire out before it spreads too much. So Morgan here is deciding not to take a shot at any of them. What are you? Machine pistol? I will just take a wild shot. Nope. That's alright. They've zoned out, but no one got hurt. And I have another prisoner who at least isn't a pyro, but is not particularly helpful to me. So I'm going to capture him. Turn my turrets off. Realizing that I kind of made a mistake at not having more doors here. I'm going to queue up more doors. Who is my doctor? My doctor is Gwen. She's already doctoring. So Gwen actually suffered a bad injury during this that I just noticed, which is she's missing a hand now. So a bionic arm. Unfortunately, she is also the doctor, the only doctor I have. So I'm going to have to buy like... I'm going to have to buy World medicine, get some hospital bed research, and get her an arm. Or hand, rather. But I could also do a Scyther Blade if I got a mechanoid attack. I didn't quite realize that she had been wounded like that, but given all the things that could have just happened, I think that's one of the less severe results. I also seem to have buried one of the pirates without stripping them. So I'll make sure to strip the last one. Now I definitely have enough steel lying around to construct this bench, so I'm going to have Davies prioritize that. Yeah, she will no longer be medic. now that her manipulation is crap. Corn's coming up. Gwen's sleeping outside. I'm going to have her move in. But, hey, I've got a research bench now. I'm going to move the tables over. Get this place cleaned up a bit. And now I think auto doors, because it's easy and it will speed my people up. Got plenty of steel, got some components. So that will help. Gwen, let's... No empty... Oh, because I don't have that built. Well, how about you one-handedly build this grave? I don't know how easy it is to dig a grave one-handed, but she managed. Alright, friendly AI telling me that I can leave if I want to. But nope. Not planning that. Yeah, I'm not going to use it for bedrooms and things. Just for the high traffic areas. You know, I don't want to drain my power severely. But I'm also probably going to put a an airlock here because it's getting colder in these bedrooms for no reason other than that the freezer area is leaking over considerably. So the research speed here is 96%. It's 96 because it's not fully clean. I guess I'll take a moment to clean. I'm actually going to put Morgan here on clean duty before research. There is certainly other stuff to clean around the base, which will delay him a bit. But once the base is clean, he'll keep his research area clean before proceeding to research. I could also put someone else on clean duty. Gwen, now that she has one hand, I guess I'll have her clean. Because she's not going to be manipulating other things in any rapid fashion. So another thing I have to check down here is that I am not digging into overhead mountain in either of my metal spots. Not messing around with that. So no overhead mountain here. A little bit over here, so I'll have to fill that in eventually. Yep, I want to replace this battery, so Davies, you're the woman to do it. Her construction is still dismally low. Everyone's is. So she, of course, as I said, that has failed. Morgan's a little better. But, alright, so now we have gun turrets. I'm going to want a multi-analyzer to speed me up. I don't have the gold for it, but let me take a look around the map. It's quite possible there's just gold lying out. Oh, and some thrumbo. A thrumbo. Gold is usually pretty easy to spot. Uranium is the stuff that's hard to spot. I see a lot of compacted machinery in that rock just north of my base, which is nice and good to know. Because I'm not going to have component assembly for a while. There's some jade down here. Sorry, this is not the most interesting for me to watch, but it is necessary for me to sort of scout around. More compacted machinery and ancient danger. Man, if there was gold, it's really on the other side of the map. Lots of... here's some plasteel, which is good to know. That's on the east. It's far away, but at least it exists. Of course, I could just convoy to a new area. Or call in a vendor. I mean, there's a lot of ways I can get gold. Because I do have microelectronics now, so I can make a comms... make some comms here. So maybe that's the approach I'll go with. Oop, that's not what I wanted. Comms console. And I figure what I could do, let's see, orbital trade beacon. Eventually I'll have this area be my trade area. So I'm actually going to remove that comms console from there. Just put it here. sort of nestled somewhere in my current stockpile. A mad boar. Alright. It's fine. Died instantly. Good turret. You did well today. So I'm going to queue construction up a little higher now. I do have plenty of rocks, or blocks rather, to get some of this built and done. And replacing some of these doors with auto doors, which will help get people moving around. I'm actually going to, let's cancel that. I meant to suspend, but I misclicked. Corn looks to be ready, but it isn't quite yet. It's not actually even the right temperature. So one thing I'll think about doing is isolating this whole area so that I have growing going on constantly. There's no sense in having a slowdown. So it's funny, it's actually pretty cold even in the summer. The terrain here I haven't really showed you is sort of cold temperate year-round. Which is decent, I suppose. So now I have that going up. At least for now, I'll just make a little trade beacon here. Obviously not going to keep it there. Soon it looks like I'll actually have a bit of my little kill zone going on. So I've got to decide how far back I want this area. So just to sort of get a sense, yeah, that's about right, actually. Alright, so I'm going to queue all this up here. I'll move this over a bit. So what I'm going to do here is allow them to come in here, but set a bunch of steel deadfall traps up that will be reusable. I, of course, will go through this door. They will run through the deadfall. That's sort of the plan there. I do need to run power down here, because eventually my turrets will be down there. So I'm just going to run power along my wall, which is probably the most secure way of doing it. Plus, this is on a switch, so I'll be able to switch things on and off easily from up here. It's not the best kill box ever made, but it'll serve its purpose. There's also the advantage of having this window shooting area zone. I haven't set up yet, but I will soon, which I'm actually quite excited about, because it is a very unique terrain to be had in this area. I'm going to resume the granite blocks because it looks like I'm getting a whole lot of building done, so I might as well have that going. I do need to power my comms console and my trade beacon, so I'll set that up. Looks like I hit machinery. Well, I'll just keep going. And I've got a raid of pirates, and it's Anna's. Oh, it's a niece of already one of my prisoners. So they have some really good arms and armor here, and I'm pretty ready for them to come. Obviously, I have a pretty good setup here. Let's haul this away. So this door actually closes. No, I clicked the wrong thing and made her construct. Alright, there we go. Yeah, they may decide to steal instead of leave. At least now, They can't leave easily through the west. They have to go all the way back out to this spot here, where I have an incomplete wall. And eventually they'll just have to go back out through my kill box. And I can always have 2 kill boxes. So let's look. An assault rifle pour, a machine pistol, and assault rifle pour. So they're not going to have the best of aim, but they do have good gear. They have power armor helmets and armor vests that are, one of them is good. So if I can strip them off the corpses, that would be phenomenal. And they're beginning their assault. So I'll get set up here. So I believe Morgan is my sniper. I'll put him in wait here. Gwen over there. I'll keep you 2 in reserve over here. I'm going to haul these blocks out of the way. Cancel the destruction of that door for now. And just sort of wait for them. Alright, reconnect this to the solar panels. Trillo crossing over gets a little hit. He's fine though. I'd like for them to wound and not kill. I want to get this armor off of them, but that guy there seems to be a lost dead cause. So they're just like bashing things randomly, willy-nilly. I'm gonna see if I can't get a shot on them with Morgan. So I'll sneak up and let's see if I can't cancel it. So there we go. Gonna have Morgan fall back. They're already fleeing. And I think I'll let them go. Another raid. Smushed. Out of existence. Let's get some stripping going. They're dead, but it's still gear that I can put on in an emergency. And haul it. I don't even have space anymore. I really need to work on this stockpile, obviously. Something I will get done soon. But for now, I will create a very temporary stockpile. I think I'm almost done with the kill area down here. So I'm not that worried about messing this kill box area up here. So how's it looking so far? A bit more defensive than times past, I'm hoping. That's my goal. Davies have already put on the power armor helmet. She is, alright, let's have you drop that. It's worn by a dead person. So there's no way that that's good for your mood. I do have to haul these people out. This graveyard isn't exactly convenient to dig up anymore. But I'll have cremation research done soon. That will be the plan. I do run the risk of accidentally tripping these traps, so I don't want to have to run through that too often. And I have my first rat. Alright. Alright, Miss Rat. I'm going to put an allowed animal area for you here. So you can eat all the grass you want. Initially, I'll just tame rats and squirrels. They're easy, and if they get aggressive with me, I won't die. So, I have that going for me. Now, unfortunately, this all looks to be overhead mountain for the most part. So I really have to fill that back in. My Thrumbo, not my Thrumbo, but a Thrumbo, however, is coming waltzing right into my base, which is really tempting. to aggro, because now that I have a back retaining wall, I can flee. So I'm going to make sure that I don't have anyone important out and about. And no, I don't. Everyone's right where they're supposed to be. So I'm going to fire on this Thrumbo. Get a little aggroed. But it seems to be manhunting and just moving out of the zone. And rather than chase it and risk getting gored, I'll let it go. It's strange. I actually haven't seen that behavior before. They've decided to leave, and there's nothing that's going to stop them. It's interesting.